Hi, I'm Dr. Teresa A. Smith, Dr. Taz, and I want to take a few minutes to introduce you to the Stronger Transformation Framework. This framework is personal to me because it reflects the way I think. It influences how I approach my life, my writing, coaching, teaching, work with organizations, and even the way I develop grants and programs. The name comes from my first two books, Stronger, How Overcoming Life's Adversity Can Push You into Your Purpose, and Transformation. Those books were born from this way of thinking, but the framework extends far beyond them. At its core, the Stronger Transformation Framework is a way of looking at what is happening in your life, relationships, work, business, or organizations. It helps you to slow down long enough to ask, why is this happening? What is happening? What is influencing how I see it? What role do I play in it? What choices are available to me now? The framework has four lanes: faith matters, reclaiming your voice, real talk, and rewrite the story. Four lanes, but one journey. Now, that does not mean you finish one lane before you enter another lane. This is not a four-step process. You may be in all four lanes at the same time. You may be paying more attention to one lane because that is the part of your life calling for your attention right now. That lane may be behind the wheel, while another lane is wrestling with the steering wheel. Either way, all four lanes are still part of that same journey. Let's talk about faith matters. When I say faith, I'm not only talking about religion. Religion may be a part of it for you, but faith can also be a relationship. It could be a mentor. It could be personal values, a promise you've made to yourself, or a vision you have for your future. Faith matters, in essence, is about what anchors you. It's your North Star. It is whatever helps to guide you when you are uncertain, overwhelmed, or trying to decide what comes next. An organization has an anchor too. It may be the mission, the reason the organization was created, or the people it was created to serve. Faith Matters invites us to look at what is guiding us and how that anchor is influencing our decisions. Sometimes an anchor helps us remain grounded. Other times we may become anchored to a person, a plan, a possibility, or expectations that is no longer helping us to move forward. The framework gives us room to examine both. The second lane is reclaim your voice. Now, for me, voice is tied to identity. Think about an iceberg. Your voice is the part that people can see and hear. Your identity is underneath the surface. If you're unsure about who you are, it becomes difficult to speak from a place that feels like you. You may show up differently depending on where you are and who you're with. The person you are at work may not be the person you are with your parents or your siblings. The person you are with your significant other may not be the person you are with your clients. The person you are when you're helping someone else may not be the person you are when you need help. Those differences do not automatically mean something is wrong. The question is whether those different expressions belong to you or whether you learn to change yourself because you want it to be accepted. Maybe someone told you that you were too much. Maybe they questioned the way you spoke, what you wanted, or how you responded. Perhaps you started making yourself smaller because the people around you seem more comfortable with that version of you. Reclaiming your voice gives you an opportunity to ask, who am I in this situation? What part of me has become quiet? What part of me have I lost? What part of myself have I never had the opportunity to know? What no longer fits the person I am becoming? You cannot reclaim something you never had. Sometimes the work is reclaiming, sometimes it will be discovering, other times it's developing a part of yourself that never had room to grow. The third lane is real talk. Real talk is the honest conversations you have with yourself or with someone you trust. That person does not have to be a romantic partner. It may be a friend, it could be a sibling, a colleague, a mentor, a physician, a therapist, or anyone who can sit with you while you work through what is happening. Real talk is when you begin removing the layers. You may already know that something is not working, but knowing does not mean you are ready to make a decision today. Sometimes you need more than one conversation. You may need to time to understand what's happening, what you have hoped would happen, and what continues to happen. You may be waiting to see whether someone changes. You may be watching to see whether a plan finally works. You may even be trying to decide whether you can live with the situation as it is. Real talk gives you room to ask, what am I experiencing? What have I learned to live with? What has this experience required from me? What keeps bringing me back to the same place? And what choices or influences do I have within my present circumstances? The purpose is not to pressure you into making a decision before you are ready. The purpose is to help you understand what is shaping your decisions and what each decision may require from you. The fourth lane is rewrite the story. We're always writing and rewriting stories because we are always deciding what our experiences mean. Suppose you're trying to lose weight. You follow your plan for several days and then you have one difficult day. You may decide that you have failed again and throw away everything you were doing. Another version of the story would be, I had one difficult day. It did not erase the choices I made before it. I can look at what happened, make my next decision, and continue. Rewriting the story does not mean pretending something did not happen. It does not mean ignoring what hurt or change the facts. It means examining the meaning you have given the experience. It means asking whether one mistake has become the story of your entire life. It means deciding whether another person's opinion has become your identity. It means recognizing when disappointment has convinced you that nothing will ever change. Sometimes rewriting the story, it means leaving a situation. It means staying while changing your boundaries, expectations, participation, or the access another person has to you. It begins, though, with something as simple as reclaiming your physical space. You may rearrange a room, empty a drawer, use a closet that someone else once occupied, or remove items that no longer belong in the life that you are creating. Those actions may look small to someone else, but you understand what they represent. All four lanes are operating in that moment. You're considering what anchors you. You're reconnecting with your identity and your voice, acknowledging what has happened, deciding how your life will continue from here. That is the Stronger Transformation Framework. You can use it to examine relationships, a career decision, health goals, a business challenge, leadership concerns, an organizational mission, or a situation that you're still trying to understand. The framework does not tell you what decision to make. It helps you to investigate what is influencing the decision. As I continue sharing this framework, I will use stories, interviews, everyday experiences, organizational situations, and materials from my book to show you how the four lanes operate. You may hear the same idea more than once and notice something different each time. That is because you're not standing in the same place every time you encounter it. Your circumstances may have changed. Your needs may have changed. The lane calling for your attention may have changed at that particular time. The journey is still yours. So, as you think about what is happening in your life or work right now, ask yourself, what's anchoring me? Is this situation showing me about my identity and voice? What conversations do I need to have? What story am I writing through the choices I am making? Then ask yourself one final question. Which lane is behind the wheel right now? 4 lanes, one journey. This is the Stronger Transformation Framework. You have already experienced 3 of the Stronger Transformation Frameworks through Faith Matters, Reclaiming Your Voice, and Real Talk. Now that you understand how all 4 lanes work together, I'm preparing to introduce the 4th lane through a new 4-episode series, Rewrite the Story. 4 lanes, one journey. This is the Stronger Transformation Framework. Bye now.